The purpose of this lecture is to go through the dot point relating to the role of active non-nutrients in the diet, particularly looking at the examples that are specified in the syllabus, so phytochemicals, probiotics, and fiber. Now, you are also required to have a look at this term discuss, where you're looking at the role of active non-nutrients in the diet, and discuss means to look at points for and or against. But it's really important to note that this really would look at the positive benefits, because active non-nutrients have positive health implications. So you really are going to look at the benefits of having these in the diet, and you would also need to have different food examples that support or that provide these active non-nutrients. So we've already covered off the nutritionally modified foods part of this worksheet, and that is in our previous video. But we're now going to have a look at active non-nutrients, and the information at the bottom of this worksheet will help us to learn what the definition is. So active non-nutrients are those foods that are not actually nutrients. For example, they're not considered to be carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, vitamins, minerals, or water. But they do have an active role to play in the diet, and they have really positive benefits in maintaining overall health. So even though they're not classified as nutrients specifically, they do have positive benefits and they are needed in the diet. So there are 4 key active non-nutrients that we're going to learn about, and you can remember these through the acronym DOP. So D stands for dietary fiber, O stands for omega-3 fatty acids, P stands for probiotics, and the last P stands for phytochemicals, which includes antioxidants. So we're going to spend some time having a look at what these 4 active non-nutrients do in our diet and to our health, and some of the foods that are really good sources. So we have this graphic organizer that you need to integrate into your study notes so that you can actually learn what each of the active non-nutrients do. So the first active non-nutrient that we're going to look at is dietary fiber. And it's important to note that dietary fiber is not classified as a nutrient, but it does have an active role to play in maintaining good health. Now, fiber comes only from plant foods, and foods that are sources of complex carbohydrates are really good sources of dietary fiber. It's important to note that the recommended dietary intake of fiber for men every day is 30 grams. And for women, it's 25 grams per day. So these are the recommended dietary intake requirements for men and women for this active non-nutrient. And the reason why dietary fiber is so important is because it prevents diseases like diverticulitis, and it prevents diseases like bowel cancer. And it helps to keep the person or the individual regular, and it prevents constipation. So what is dietary fiber defined as? Now, fiber is the indigestible component of plant foods. These foods include fruits, vegetables, legumes, and beans. Whenever you have fruits and vegetables, it's important to keep the skin on because the skin contains most of the fiber. Now, dietary fiber aids in digestion and bowel movements, and the reason why it does that is it helps to absorb water, and it also allows waste to be removed from the body quite easily to prevent constipation and to promote a healthy gastrointestinal tract and digestive system. Dietary fiber also has a role in reducing cholesterol. So this is one of the other benefits of having dietary fiber in the diet. Now, some good food examples include high fiber bread, as well as pasta that is a whole grain or a whole meal. But any breads, cereals like Wheat Bix, Vita Wheat crackers, any wraps that are rye or whole grain based, as well as beans like baked beans, are really good sources of fiber. So you need to be across the different foods that can provide fiber in the diet. All right, so we've covered off the first letter of our acronym, which is D. We're now going to look at O, which is another active non-nutrient, so omega-3 fatty acids. Now, it's important to note that omega-3 fatty acids are found in foods that are oily, so like oily fish and salmon, as well as walnuts. They're also omega-3 fatty acids recently have also been used in the fortification process. So they are used to fortify foods. And an example is a type of tip-top bread called the One, and it has omega-3 fatty acids added. It's also found in a range of different supplements in the forms of capsules and gummies. For example, Nature's Way produce a lot of omega-3 capsules and supplements. Now, having a look at the role of omega-3 fatty acids, they're important as they are converted into prostaglandins. Now, these hormone-like substances help to deal with injury and illness in the body, and they also help to promote cardiovascular health. Now, omega-3 fatty acids are high in HDLs, and HDLs stand for high density lipoproteins. And what they do is that whenever you consume foods that are good sources of omega-3 fatty acids that contain HDLs, they in turn lower LDLs. And LDLs are low density lipoproteins. Now, the reason why this is so important is because low density lipoproteins help to actually store cholesterol on the linings of the arteries, and it can lead to diseases like a heart attack or conditions like a heart attack, as well as arteriosclerosis. So by having foods that are good sources of omega-3, that are good sources in HDLs, they will in turn lower the LDLs, which are the bad cholesterols, and then it can prevent diseases of the circulatory system, which is why cardiovascular health is promoted. Now, other benefits of omega-3 fatty acids is that it does help with brain functioning through DHA, which is a type of omega-3 fatty acid. And it's particularly used and it's added to formula, baby formula, to assist in the proper development of the brain. And it also, omega-3 fatty acids also are an essential fatty acid that help with keeping skin and hair healthy. So we're now moving on to the third type of active non-nutrient, which starts with a P, and these are phytochemicals. Examples of phytochemicals include antioxidants and phytoestrogens. Now, phytochemicals are beneficial substances that are found naturally in plants, mainly in fruits and vegetables. And the two types of phytochemicals we're going to look at are antioxidants and phytoestrogens. Now, we've already looked at antioxidants in a fair bit of detail, particularly in year 11. Now, antioxidants in this instance are not an additive. So we know that antioxidants are an additive that prevent the rancidity of fats, so they're found in foods like chips and butter and margarine. But in this instance, from a health perspective, antioxidants are the chemicals that prevent the oxidation and the oxidative damage in the body. There's at least 8,000 different types of antioxidants that occur naturally in fruits and vegetables and other plant sources. And what they do is they prevent lifestyle diseases and they prevent other conditions like cancer. So carotenoids are an example of an antioxidant. Carotenoids are the red pigment in fruits and vegetables. Flavonoids are another example, and flavonoids are the purple pigment in fruits and vegetables. Now, another type of antioxidant, another type of phytochemical is a phytoestrogen. Now, these are substances that are converted by bacteria in the gut into hormone-like compounds which can imitate the hormone estrogen. These are, for example, isoflavonoids and lignans. So the last type of active non-nutrient that we're going to look at is probiotics. And these are very, very common these days, and a lot of foods are actually fortified with probiotics. And they are a really, really well-known active non-nutrient, particularly in today's society. So probiotics is another name for beneficial bacteria. Now, the human gut contains billions of bacteria. Some of them are beneficial, these are good bacteria, and others are not beneficial. Now, there needs to be a balance between good bacteria and bad bacteria to prevent disease, and there needs to be more good bacteria to prevent diseases. Now, gut infections, surgery, and a poor diet, as well as certain medications like antibiotics, can reduce the numbers of healthy gut flora. And these are the good bacteria that live in the gut. And probiotic foods, or foods containing probiotics, are often used in these situations to actually increase the number of good bacteria, and to promote a healthy gut flora. Now, Having a look at some specific food examples. Foods that contain probiotics include fermented foods. Now, fermented foods are foods that contain live cultures of good bacteria, and they are good sources of probiotics. Now, really good examples of fermented foods include kimchi, which is a fermented cabbage, and fermented cabbage or kimchi is common in South Korea. So it is a cultural food. Kombucha is another example. Kombucha is a drink, and it is a type of tea that has been fermented to produce good strains of bacteria. Kefir, this is a yogurt type food, and it is really, really concentrated in probiotics. And these are all types of foods that contain probiotics. Now, Yakult also contains lactic acid and is a good probiotic, as well as lactic acid bacteria. And Yakult is another example that contains lactobacillus, which is a type of probiotic. So probiotics overall are really good sources of good bacteria that help to promote a healthy gut flora, and it's needed to prevent disease and infection, to have a good balance of these gut flora, or these healthy gut flora, in the gastrointestinal tract. So the next activity is going to go through a range of different food products that have been manufactured, and they have been nutritionally modified, fortified, or they're classified as functional foods, and they have active non-nutrients that help to enhance health. So the purpose of this activity is to have a look at what the product is, how it's classified, if there's any active non-nutrients present, so looking at that acronym DOP, and also how it improves the health of consumers, so making links to those specific diet-related disorders. Now, the first example is a product from Tip Top, and this is a sliced bread product that has been fortified with omega-3. Now, this is a type of food that is nutritionally modified because the nutritional value has been changed by adding omega-3 fatty acids. So therefore, it's also a fortified food. Now, it is a functional food as well because it has health benefits that surpass those of other foods in the same product category. So if we look at bread, this bread is functional compared to other types of bread because it has that omega-3 added. Now, what are the active non-nutrients? Going back to our DOP acronym, yes, omega-3 fatty acids have been added to this product, and therefore these are types of active non-nutrients. And what they do is they help to prevent cardiovascular disease because they contain good sources of cholesterol or HDLs that lower LDLs. And this product with omega-3 helps hair, skin and nails be healthy. Having a look at the next example, which is a type of probiotic fermented food, kombucha. So is this food nutritionally modified? No, it hasn't been nutritionally modified. It hasn't been fortified either. Nothing has been added to it to help with its added health benefits in terms of nutrients, but it is a functional food. And the reason why it's functional is that it does have those added health benefits compared to other sorts of foods like bottled drinks or bottled soft drinks because it contains probiotics. Now, what are the benefits of probiotics for consumers? It helps to promote a healthy gut flora, and it helps keep that balance in the gastrointestinal tract, and it's needed for that balance. So probiotics help to promote a healthy gut and a healthy digestive system. Having a look at the next few examples, you're now going to spend some time going through these on the next few slides activity, and this will be part of. Now keep in mind, we have now ticked off the role of active non-nutrients, which relates to DOP. You should be able to discuss them, and you should also be able to look at or to explain nutritionally modified foods as well as functional foods and fortified foods, as well as discuss how they promote health.